Hi everyone, my name's Jill Willis, and for today's episode we cover the biggest operational headaches facing refurbishers. We lift the lid on the new Smart 2.0 release and explore some of its most anticipated features, including Wi-Fi profiling, more flexible config and efficiency and security. Who better to join me at the table than Ben Daniels? As Client Success Manager at Smart, he's helped many refurbishers to overcome their operational challenges and grow. So in 2021, the first version of Smart won the Microsoft Innovation Award. So that's a brilliant start, but now we've got Smart 2.0 coming to market. Can you tell me about more of the innovations that we're going to be seeing?
Yeah, obviously it was great to win the Innovation Award back in 2021. You know, that was we're really proud when we got that. But, you know, to stay innovative, to move forward, you've got to keep working on it.
So talk me through some of the standout features that your refurbishers love from the first version and the knockouts that are coming in for 2.0.
So it's funny actually, because when we built Smart 1 and we deployed that to all the refurbishers, we just assumed that, you know, being able to have their settings for their whole company made sense, right? So you set the settings once, off you go, whatever. But a lot of refurbishers have completely different scenarios where they're using Smart. You know, sometimes they'll want all the drivers to be pulled in by Smart, but on a separate project, they might have images set up specifically for that make and model where they don't need the driver installer from Smart, for example. So having the ability to be a bit more flexible within some of those config settings, we kind of made that, you know, made it so that you could do that in Smart 1, but now we've kind of looked at how we can make that better in Smart 2.
And are there particular challenges that your refurbishers are really feeling acutely right now that Smart 2 is going to really help them address?
Yeah, I think it's scalability, right? A lot of people in the refurbisher market, I think, can't afford to throw more resource at what they're doing. You know, with the cost of living and all this stuff, I don't think it's the right time to just go, well, we need to do more, so let's hire more people to do more. Let's take software and really look at how we can deploy that to automate, to scale, so that, you know, you take one technician that's maybe installing Windows, injecting a key, finding the drivers. Let's say his capacity is 30, rather than going, well, let's hire more people so we can do more devices. Let's look at how can we maximize the amount of devices that a person can process in a day. So the operational side of it, I think, has played a big part in, you know, some of the newer features in Smart 2.0.
And I see that, you know, the judges for the Microsoft Innovation Award were really speaking to the prevention of the loss of digital licenses was one of the things that stood out for them. The provision of real-time data was another that they identified as real standout innovation, and that enhancement of the quality control with the forced driver check. So they were the standouts for Smart 1. Do you have a few standouts for Smart 2 that you kind of hope may win an award in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think for us anyway, we want to make it as easy as possible, one, to scale, and two, to be compliant, right? That's ultimately what it boils down to. If you can, let's say as a new refurbisher, or maybe someone that's not dived into the licensing process, but if you can sit down and go, this makes so much sense and it's so easy to do, then I think it would just become more widely adopted within the market. And ultimately we're driving the quality of product up, right? So when the end user buys a product, they're looking for certain markers. They're looking for the great out-of-box experience. And I think Smart 2.0 has tackled some of that in a great way to ensure that the user can't get it wrong, right? That's what we want to do. We want to take the decision making away from the technician, when really it's all about just being compliant, making sure that all the drivers are there, making sure that the device is, you know, on that nice out-of-box experience screen, welcome to Windows, when they launch the device. So I think in the back of our minds, of course, we want to take on, you know, feedback from all the refurbishers, but then we've got to obviously appease the agreement in the background with Microsoft to make sure that everyone's compliant and it's easy to do so.
So what are some of your favourite features that we're going to see in Smart 2.0?
My favourite feature, hands down, is the Wi-Fi profiling that we've got. So effectively now in Smart One, when you boot a device, when you image something with Windows, you would typically go into audit mode, you go to inject your key. The first thing that you're going to run into is, if you're not plugged in by Ethernet, then it will say, well, you've got no internet, so you can't get your drivers, you can't get your key injected. Now, what we've done in Smart 2 is have the ability within a config file to specify your Wi-Fi network name and passphrase, so that when Smart launches, it automatically creates like a temporary network that connects to your Wi-Fi. And the reason we've done that, and the reason why it's temporary, is because once Smart has finished doing what it needs to do, it will remove that profile, so that when the device goes out the door, there's no trace of your Wi-Fi name or passphrase, on that device. And then we've got some other great features, the kind of branding side of it. If you're a large or a smaller company and you've got guests coming, you've got visitors, and you want to show them the processes that you go through to refurb some of these devices, having the full screen application of Smart there present when you're doing a tour, but having your own logo on there shows that you've really thought about the personalization piece. The other side of it is we've improved the driver installation features and just the efficiency of the actual application overall.
So Smart's trusted by upwards of 500 refurbishers globally now. So I'm guessing their feedback has been really fundamental in the development of this second version.
Yeah, it has. And, right now, as of today, we're in the process where we are doing some closed alpha testing. And what I mean by that is, there are still some bugs that we're trying to iron out and make it as great as possible. But then we'll move to a beta testing phase where we will actually contact some of the refurbishers that we have a good relationship with to get some real honest feedback. And then obviously when it comes to the actual release, we won't stop doing that. I think that's one of the beauties, and what gets me really excited is just because we've released Smart 2 doesn't mean we're going to stop development on it.
So what's next for Smart? Dare I say 3?
We're kind of working our way back through the process. And I guess next, the most logical step for us would be, how easy is it for potential refurbishers to integrate some of that data into their own systems or integrate it into third-party applications, like data wiping tools, like, other available ERP solutions that are out there, and just how flexible we can be with some of that data. We're going to be really reactive in what we make available to different areas and people within the business. So we understand that the financing person from a company wants to know different details to maybe the operational. And, it's how we lay out some of that data and make it available, but also down to something like, do we want to show data that, I don't know, when you inject a key, from the moment you boot Smart to the moment Smart's finished doing what it's done, do we want to show people the amount of time that took? So that people can start to, the operational people could potentially look at some of those numbers and go, hang on, this make and model takes a bit longer within Smart. What can we do to speed that up? So again, it's about there's a lot of data there. How can we make that really usable by different areas of businesses and the refurbishers?
As we wrap up today's Refurbisher Live Lounge, we'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest headache facing your refurbisher business? Is it scalability, operational inefficiencies, or something else? Hit subscribe and tell us in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.